And as the clock ticks toward the end of the legislative session in Tallahassee, a bipartisan police reform bill is moving through the House. Justin Shecker is live outside Tampa Police Headquarters with details on that. And Justin, part of this bill addresses chokeholds.
That's right, Keith. Good evening. This bill would ban police chokeholds unless there's an immediate threat of serious harm. It also requires officers to intervene and stop another's use of excessive force when reasonable. Building off the momentum of last summer's George Floyd protests, State Rep Fentress Driscoll tells 8 on Your Side, police reform has been a top priority for the Florida Legislative Black Caucus.
I think the hope of all of those who've had a hand in putting together this bill is that we can prevent anything like that from happening in Florida.
The bipartisan bill coming out of the House Judiciary Committee establishes statewide standards for use of force investigations.
I'd like to openly thank Speaker of the House, Chris Sprowls, for his leadership in trying to think through that section. And so the goal there is to have independent investigations when there's a use of force.
In addition to an outside law enforcement agency or state attorney's office conducting the investigation, the proposal directs FDLE to create a state database for police shootings and use of force cases resulting in death or serious injury.
That's really what it's all about. Can we build trust between the law enforcement community who puts their lives on the line every day, trying to keep our community safe, but then also communities of color who are oftentimes policed unfairly and who feel like their lives are at risk just because of their skin color.
The bill requires law enforcement officers seeking employment with a new agency to disclose if they're under investigation or have been terminated for cause.
We want to make sure that officers who are those bad apples that would spoil the bunch aren't able to jump from agency to agency.
In response to this 2019 arrest of a 6-year-old student at her Orlando school, the bill would prohibit arresting children younger than 7 unless they commit a forcible felony. And Driscoll says the bill could reach the floor of the House for a vote as early as next week. She tells me there's still work to be done to get state senators on board with these police reform proposals before the legislative session ends on April 30th. We're live in Tampa. I'm Justin Shecker, 8 on Your Side.